Okay, good afternoon everyone. Thank you so much for coming. First of all, I would like to introduce all of our ABA school alumni that we gathered here today. And those are very successful and brilliant students of ABA. They were brilliant students of ABA school, now they are brilliant students of ABA University. So we have from International Relations, Kamran, Samadzada. Let's support it, guys. We have Fatima, Alizada from Business. Latafat, Guliyeva from Computer Science, Inji Achak from Law, and Nurel Seyidova from Finance. You did really well for coming here today, because actually what we're going to ask from them and the insights that they're going to share with you will help you in your future a lot. First of all, we will start with our 3 questions about university, about academics, etc. You will listen, and then we'll give floor to you so you can ask your questions. And are you ready, everyone? Yes. So if you are giving the microphone to our interviewer, Maria Rosella.
Thank you, Camila. So let's not waste any time and get straight to the questions. The first question is directly related to academics. What was the biggest difference between studying in high school and in your faculty at ADA Uni, especially in terms of workload, grading system, and exam structure? And what kind of students do you think adapt the best to this kind of academic environment?
Okay, so first of all, I'm glad to see all of you here. You're not a lot, but still, that's very good. Coming to academics, I would say that university is much easier, I'll be honest with you. For me, university is much easier because at university, the maximum number of subjects that we can get is how much, in your opinion? How many subjects do we have per semester, maximum? 3? Not that much, no. We have maximum 6, but on average we need to take 5. So at school we had around 10 or 11, so in the workload it was much easier. And also at university you learn the subjects in which you're very interested. So for example, if you're not a very great fan of, let's say, chemistry, or you're not a great fan of English language, you choose the subject that you want. So it's much better in this case. Coming to academics, I don't know if you know about this or not, but back in our time, our grading system was much different. Much different. For us, A was above 90, and A minus was between 80 and 90. So it wasn't easier in that case, but still.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to the interview. About the question, I think university, I agree with Kamran that university is much easier than school. You're going to have only 5 subjects per semester, or you have 12 subjects per semester now, so it's way easier. But the disadvantage is that you have a lot of workload. So let's say in school you have to cover, let's say, 3-4 chapters from the book. In university you have to cover the entire book, so there's a lot of material. But in terms of grading, you have syllabuses from all of the subjects, syllabi from the subjects. That's the same for university. You're going to have syllabi from each subject, and the grading criteria will be mentioned there. So it's somehow similar to what you had in school. And the university, you're going to see that you have a lot of advantage. When the graduates of ADA school, they have a lot of advantage over those who come with DIM and those who come with SAT, because you know how Outlook works, you know how Blackboard works, you know how to manage your time, you know how to study. You already studied English in English language, so it's much more easier for you to study in university. That's a big advantage for you, and that's why university is way easier than what you cover in school.
So once again, hello everyone. I'm very happy to see you all here, and I'm very excited to be in this environment as previous ADA school graduate. So I would like to narrow the question a little bit and specify this to my faculty. I would say that for me, university is way harder than school, but what makes it easy is flexibility. You have just 5 subjects, no one forces you to attend class. Everything is on you. You just choose your own schedule, you just choose your own classes, everything is on your shoulders. There is no class advisor that forces you to attend classes. There are no instructors that are showing you each step. Everything is on you, and this is a lot of responsibility, but a lot of flexibility as well. This is maybe one let's say, feature that makes university easier than school, but in my opinion, university is way harder, because in school, let's say right now you are in growing stage, you are in development stage, and you are just learning basics field that you know. Right now, if you study biology, you just know the basics of how human body works, how the features interact with each other. But in university, since you are representative of some particular field, you learn more advanced stuff, and believe me, this is much harder as well. So if in school, you just listen to the instructor, practice some examples, and you are ready, this is not how it works in our faculty. You have to know how the things work and what happens in the background. For example, you know how to code, doesn't help. You have to know what happens to computer when you, let's say, type the particular code. Let's say you know the formula, doesn't help. There are some exams that you can go with cheat sheet, for example, physics, probability exam. So knowing formula is not enough. You have to know how this formula is applied to every situation. You have to think of everything from background, and I think that's what makes university much harder than school.
Hello everyone, my name is Inji and I will be presenting law, and hopefully I will not scare you to those who want to come to law. And first of all, what I'm trying to say is that you have to take in mind that law is very different from what you learn in school, because in other faculties, at least there are some subjects that you learn right now which have some connection to your actual field. For example, for computer science, you're learning something about computer from school, so you have some idea about how that field is like. But when you come to law, the history that you learn, or I don't know, the geography that you learn, the mathematics that you learn is not going to help you. So you're going to come to law with zero idea about law in your mind, and a lot of the times people have perceptions about law, but then they come to faculty and it's not true to itself. So that is one thing, that you're coming with an empty mind, which is something good, but also it can be something bad, depending on the person. And one advice for the adaptation part from my side would be that the people who know English well, such as you, succeed better in law. You can ask, like, what is the correlation between English language and law? And it would be that in the first year of your studies, you will be reading a lot of materials. You will have lots of materials, 100 pages from one subject for 1 week, and those materials are going to be from the 17th or 18th century. So the English is going to be an old English, so you need a good command of English, so you can be several steps ahead. And unlike the other faculties, we are not that much flexible, unfortunately. So I will say that the workload is less, but the content is harder compared to school, if I have to be honest. But is it manageable? Of course, because you will have less subjects, you will only do one field, you are not going to jump from biology to mathematics, from mathematics to, I don't know, literature, you're just going to do law, and at the end of the day, the subjects that you learn are going to be interconnected. So one thing you learn from the subject is going to be useful in another, so that's going to help you a lot. And also good English language and good speaking skills, I would say, will help you adapt to the law environment better, because teachers can be sometimes overwhelming and over-demanding from you, but it's gonna be manageable inside the faculty, and that's all from my side. I don't want to scare you too much. I promise next time I will talk in a more positivist way.
Hello everyone, my name is Nurel. This is my first year as a finance major, and I would say that first year for me is actually much easier than high school, like at other school, because as all my peers said, at school we had a lot of subjects, and from each of them we had a lot of tests, for example CBAs, PAs, AAs, and many of them, like each week. But at university, usually we have a few quizzes, midterms, finals, and projects, which is actually similar to school, but structure can be a bit different, and they are not that often. I would also say that the grading system is almost the same, but it also depends on your course and instructor, because some instructors may also grade your attendance, your participation. So sometimes you should be active in class to participate in discussions or just post your answers to discussion boards and etc. But overall, if you're a graduate of other school, you're really prepared for university because the system is very similar. It's actually the same.
What kind of students do you think adapts the best to this kind of academic environment?
The one who does everything on time, who respects the deadlines, who sets the deadlines straight, who understands at what time I should do something. Basically, the person who is very good at time management. So if you know what you need to do at what time, then you're going to succeed. And it doesn't matter whether you choose my faculty or the faculty of any other. If you can set the deadline, then you will succeed with ease.
I think time management is quite important because you're going to have a lot of material. You have to manage your time properly so that you prepare for each exam on time. We cannot leave it until the last day because maybe that's possible in school, but in university that's not going to be possible. And maybe in school you have CPAs each week, but in university you're going to have quizzes or midterms in the middle of the month or in the middle of the semester, so you have a lot of material packed up until your exam. So it's better if you study on time. And also, I think the most important thing is not your GPA in university, but you have to be quite active. You have to be actively participating. So not the one who only studies, but also the one who is active and participating in different volunteerings, maybe internships. Those are the ones who are the best at university, and you will be adapted to university in the best.
The people who are successful in university are the people who are responsible and who are flexible to any change. As I already mentioned, in university, in our faculty, everything is on your shoulders. You have to practice a lot, you have to work a lot, and university is not enough at all. You have to work on yourself more and more. No one controls you. Everything that happens to you is because of you, not because of anyone. There is just some people that you can take advice of and you can just talk with, but everything is on your shoulders. And responsible people that have ability to change, and also people who are open to connections. Connections are very, very important. Sharing, let's say, memories with someone who has similar experience as you, or taking opinion from someone that has already come through the way that you did is very, very important because you need to have some idea about something before doing it, right? So that's it. Thank you.
About exam structure, as I said, it's different. Which students adapt the best? Usually those students who are responsible, because when you have some big projects or papers to write, you should be responsible to do everything on time and before deadlines, because the tasks that you are given are usually very large. So if you leave them to the last moment, you can betray your group mates. So yes, I would recommend that you're friendly to everyone, you're active in classes, you take notes, participate in discussions, and just make new connections and have some fun at university.
So thank you all for providing such detailed answers. I'm sure the students can now approximately imagine what being a uni student is like. So on that note, let's move on to the second question. The second question will be about extracurriculars. Within your faculty, what opportunities exist beyond classes? For example, research projects, student organizations, competitions, internships, or networking events, and which of these actually had a real impact on your growth?
Okay, I would like to make this discussion a bit more interactive, so I have a question for you guys. How many emails do you usually get on average per day?
10.
10? Maybe like 10, 15, something like that. We have double of that sometimes. Because every single faculty, every single school has something to offer for you. Well, as an example, I can say that sometimes you have discussion hours, some people from different enterprises, from different fields, from different places may come. For instance, last year I have met with the president of North Macedonia, so we have opportunities like that. And this semester we also have some very important people for my my subfield to come, so I'm also waiting for them. Besides from that, you have opportunities such as clubs. Like you have clubs at your school, the same thing here, but it's not mandatory. If you want, you can join. If you don't like, you may leave, join another club, but I strongly suggest you to do it. And even to have some organizational positions. I guess that some of us are presidents or members of the club, so they will talk more about that. Besides from that, I would like to have more emphasis on career growth, career development, because every single year, starting from the second year, you have the opportunity to win the internship. So basically you come, you submit the form, then you come to the interview, then you attend the classes with some company. It can be company from agriculture, from IT, from education, any field you want. And if they like you, you can get selected and get paid internship during your summer. So I already applied for one of these programs. I successfully won. And I also hope to apply again. This is April, so we'll see about that. Besides from that, networking events are usually conducted by USG, United Student Government. It is kind of similar to ATA Student Council, but a little bit on a different scale. They also have elections, you can also participate on that. So if you would like to attend some party, attend some interesting event, just check your email regularly and you will find something for yourself.
In terms of business, I think it's a bit different from computer science, law, and finance, because in those fields it's easy to be differentiated, because if you have 4 GPA from those subjects, you'll be easily differentiated from those fields, majors. But in business, everybody has good grades, because it's comparatively easier than the rest of the, I'm not sure about international relations, but I think...
It depends. It depends.
Yeah, I think they're more similar than the rest. But it's harder to get selected in business, so having good grades in business is not enough. You have to have certain skills that can differentiate you from others. So for my case, I think it's joining programs, different programs. For example, I'm the mentor of Arab Business Club, School Business Club. I think we have family from there. Nobody else, only family from there. And I'm also the president of Arab Medical Club, which is not only about medicine itself, but it's about having different departments, how they work, how do we manage events. So it's more about project management, more about event management. So it's the field that I chose for myself. It's the opportunity that I took for myself. I'm also working as a teaching assistant for Global Perspectives, which is not really related to business itself, but I think business, because the classes are a little bit easier, you have more opportunity, you have more time to do other stuff. So you have to use it. I'm only second-year students. What Kamran said about employability, I haven't had it yet. So once I have it, I'll apply for internships as well. But from starting from first year, you can work in different fields. You can work in internships at university, in terms of being a teaching assistant. You can be presidents, vice presidents, you can be members of the clubs. And I think that's a big start from your first year. And going up, you can join different competitions. There are a lot of startup competitions for business major, and they are for mainly third, fourth year students, but if you have good base, I think that supports you all the way along. So again, business is not only about your studies, but it's more about your experiences, whatever you learn during your university years.
So before talking about extracurricular activities, I want to give you very important advice that I have acquired throughout the 3 years that I studied at university. Don't be a regular student with good grades, because it will not help you in university. As I said, you have 2 options. Either you just go to classes, come home, go to classes, come home, or you make your major part of your life. If you're gonna be the second one, you will definitely succeed. But first one, 50-50. So what I would like to give example from my side, in tech field, as you know, there are a lot of innovations and developments in 21st century. So there are a lot of opportunities, like endless opportunities for you to participate. I'm the part of ADA, ACM Student Chapter Club. So we are organizing different seminars from people from different fields. For example, last time we organized a meeting, a seminar with prior senior software engineer of Meta and a senior software engineer of Volkswagen. And also a graduate of Munich Technical University, which are very good for us to connect. For example, they can give you the references for different internships. Maybe you can be also part of such big companies. Or for example, I have been a teaching assistant for Calculus 1 and 2, and now currently I'm teaching assistant for programming principles 2. This is also important for acquiring skills beyond the class level and to see how managing looks like. Because when you are teaching assistant, you are not just helping the instructor, but you are also creating some small tasks, and it will help you improve your leadership skills, your communication skills, let's say, which are really important. Also, what is one of the major steps in my development, I think, was my exchange program. I did my exchange at ODTÜ, Middle East Technical University, Department of Computer Engineering, and I think I had, it's my 6th semester in the university, but it was my most productive semester at all. So here, when you're in exchange, you learn a lot. You learn how to be on your own. You learn how to be in a very hard university for me, because it was top 200 universities of the world, and it was one of the hardest universities in the exchange program list. It would be top 5 probably. So it was very challenging, but it changed me a lot in a positive way. Also, I had done many volunteerings, like I'm currently part of ADA Volunteers Movement, and also I did volunteering in ISPC finals. And I would like to recommend you this as well, to join many hackathons, to join many volunteering programs. Even though I did some, I think this is even not close to enough. For example, we together with our team have secured 4th place in IDDA hackathon. Maybe you have heard about this organization. But even though I did this, there are much more opportunities. You can get many rejections, that's okay. But what I would recommend is be brave, try everything. Believe me, it will not hurt you. It will not be a failure. Maximum you will get a rejection. So try everything. Don't be afraid of something. That's it.
About extracurriculars from the law, we have a lot going on actually, because law itself is always moving, so is our faculty. And firstly, I would like to mention the moot courts. I believe the other faculties do not have this kind of initiative. So the moot courts are basically the court proceedings. It's like a play of a court proceeding where the judges and the plaintiffs and the claimants are all students, and they come together and they have a case and they argue on the case like it's an actual court. One feature is that it is very demanding, and lots of the moot court competitions are international, so you do not argue in Azerbaijan, but you come together with a team of 4 or 5. You get ready for like 9 months, 10 months preparation, and then you fly to, one of them is in Washington, it's in Jessup, and another one is in Budapest, there's one in Vienna, there's one in Malta, there's one in Birmingham, so you will have lots of opportunities to travel, and as you travel, you can learn about the mooting. It's a field of law, so that is very interesting about our faculty. Another thing I would like to mention is the ADA Law Society. Maybe you have heard of it if you're interested in coming to law. It's a club especially for law students where all of us as the law students come together, and we sometimes shoot content, we sometimes have interviews with the instructors to learn about their experiences when they were students, and we also carry debates. There are sometimes between the students, and sometimes we have the televised debate between the teachers, between the instructors, so those are really fun. It's a very active club. We have almost any event every single month, I believe, and they're very fun and educational. Also, the externship and the internships in law faculty are mandatory, so you will not be left on your own to find an internship. The law school sends you mandatorily. You have to go and have that internship for 4 weeks or 8 weeks. You go to first instance courts or appellate courts in your second year of studies, and in the third year of studies you go to prosecutor's office, and one or 2 months you can also go to a private company and learn about commercial law there. There's also diplomatic mission opportunity where for 1 month you go to a diplomatic mission in another country and you can have an internship there in our embassies abroad. That's also an opportunity that you can take. And also I would like to mention the employability week, which was already mentioned. There are lots of opportunities for law students there as well, mainly certain fourth-year students, but occasionally there are people who get the job from the 2nd grade. And I feel like that will be all from the ADA law faculty side.
So since I'm a first year, I didn't have an opportunity to join all the events that other students mentioned. But I know that there are clubs, and not almost every day there are multiple events happening at university. So it's your choice to join them, and you can just not join any of them. But I would recommend you to join different events. For example, there are career services at ADA, which often make senior talks or some info sessions with different companies where they talk about internships, about opportunities, job opportunities at their companies. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can join such events. About other extracurriculars, for example, there are many clubs, but those which can be related to finance can be the Bankers Club or e-commerce. I haven't joined any of them, to be honest, and I don't know if the Bankers Club is active now, but it depends on the opportunities that you have when you apply to university. Also, I'm a member of USG, which is United Student Government, Logistics. So I decided to take advantage of this opportunity to join something bigger than just a student club, but a student organization which is responsible for events at university as a whole. So yes, there are many opportunities and different events, and you can talk spend a lot of time before talking on them. But that's all from us.
I would like to add just one thing, which is actually about all the faculties we didn't mention. There's also peer tutorship program, and let's say that you have difficulties from a course, because sometimes the time between you and the instructor can be limited, and you want some support from student side, student to student. You can. There are lots of courses that have peer tutorship program, and the successful students teach you on one-to-one basis or as a group, and that can be a good support as well if you have any difficulties in a course or in, let's say, in generally with academics.
So the discussion has been great so far. Let's see how you handle the final question from us. If somebody is choosing your faculty mainly because it sounds prestigious or popular, what should they think seriously about before applying? And what mindset or skills are essential to succeed there?
Okay, the only person who called my faculty prestigious was my grandpa, so I don't know if you think like that or not. But if you think that you can come to SPIA School of Public and International Affairs just because it sounds, easy, it sounds, let's say, prestigious or whatever, you just need to take into account that you need to read a lot and you always need to learn something.
Business is not only about the part that you think that is interesting, there's a lot of technical part. If you're bad at math, unfortunately it's harder to study business because you have 60%, let's say, technical subjects, whereas 40 is humanities, so you have to be good at math. The subjects are interconnected with each other. If you don't know financial accounting, you will not be able to manage managerial accounting. If you don't know, let's say, managerial accounting, you will fail at principles of finance. If you don't know statistics, you will fail at statistics too. So there are a lot of subjects that are technical. So if you want business just because it sounds fun, that's not the way you should choose, because you will struggle as the classes are interconnected with each other. But there are also humanitarian subjects which are like principles of marketing, which is basically memorizing, or fundamentals of business, entrepreneurship. These classes are mostly memorizing whatever the material is given and more on the creative side. But again, if you feel like you lack a bit of knowledge or if you lack interest, that's also interesting. That's also an important part, that if you lack interest, there is no point of coming to business, because there are a lot of people who are interested in business, and there are a lot of people who come there because they already have any business ideas in their mind, or they have already decided the field that they want to go for. So if you feel like you're not interested in business, you're not going to be quite successful. Because from what I see, I think the people with the most interest in business, they succeed at the end. I think that's all I can say about the prestige of business.
So, let's say you want to be an artist. If you will really dive into this field and will make this part of your life, you can be a very popular, very rich, very well-known artist. Let's say you are a med student and you are very hardworking, you are doing everything that a student can do, and you become a very successful doctor. So what I want to say is every faculty, every field is open to prestige and popularity, and of course money. I agree that there are specific fields that hold more capital, more, let's say, money than others, but it doesn't mean that you have to choose your faculty based on it. First of all, what I would recommend that explore yourself. Like, be open to exploration, be open to opportunities, try everything, because without trying, you will not know what is suitable to you and what you like. For example, you can go to computer science because many computer science students are rich. Okay, you will study first grade, second grade, and once you go to industry, once you go to internship, maybe you will think that this is not my cup of tea, and you will be exhausted after some time. I don't think that someone wants that. So I don't want it to happen to anybody. So that's why, first of all, explore yourself. Don't choose faculty because this is about money, law is about rules. I'm very just person and I want to choose law. I believe if you can't read a lot, you can't choose law, right? For computer science, if you are not used to get your hands dirty, what I mean is practice a lot using computer, and you are not familiar with basic mathematical stuff, and you cannot bear math, I'm sorry, this is probably not for you, because nowadays, since AI is also developing a lot, computer science already became not popular with coding, but mostly more popular with math and thinking, because that's what AI can't really do. So being able to build something, being able to dive into some field and to calculate a lot is main features of our faculty. So you can be a very, as I said, very prestigious and very popular in every field that exists in the earth. So what I would recommend is first explore yourself, give yourself a chance to try everything, and after that, choose the faculty that you want, because otherwise, even though you will get money, you will be exhausted and you will just do this, you will not bear this work, you will just do this job because you have to make a living, right? But I don't think that someone would like to do 9 to 6 job just for money, because more than half of your day is spent with this environment. So you have to somehow enjoy it. So before you get exhausted, before you, let's say, get failures in this field, give yourself a chance for many trials, for many explorations, for many opportunities, so that it will not lead to more mistakes in the future.
Generally, law is very over-recommended in the society. It's probably could be due to that one ongoing Asian meme that says that you have to be a doctor or a lawyer or else, or if you're a woman, you have to marry a doctor or a lawyer. It could be due to that, but I don't know. It is very over-recommended, so I am pretty sure that at one point everybody's dads and moms would be okay with his son or daughter to be a lawyer. There is one thing in law that what I see in our faculty is that the faculty is divided into 3 parts, I would say. One part is that those who wanted to be a lawyer and came to law for it. The another part is that they came there because their parents recommended it and they loved law. And the third category is that they came there by recommendations and pressures from their family and they hate law. What you are trying to do is that do not fall onto that third category. because there are lots of my friends and my colleagues which are saying that I just want to end up this 4 years so that I can get the diploma, take that diploma home, and then move on with my life and work in another sector. Don't do that, please. Do not do it. Why? Because law is not hard to study. Believe me when I say it. Anyone who genuinely wants to become a lawyer and who really loves that field can easily read all of the materials, ace their exams, be really good at argumentation, etc. But if you do not like it, you will not be able to do it as constantly as possible. You can study the 4 years and even get 4 GPA, but once you stop trying, the knowledge that you have learned will be lost. So it's not only with law, but with every field, I believe, is that becoming a professional of something is not 1 day's job, it is not 2 days job, it's not 4 years job, it's not 6 years job, it's a lifelong process. So if you are willing to dedicate your life to it, because after you graduate, even if you get masters and even if you became a doctor, you will still be learning. It is like this with every field to 1 degree, but with law, as the laws are changing every single day and we cannot memorize everything, we have to study non-stop. And law is something that you face more regularly than you believe. There are many things that is happening to you right now that you do not realize that is connected to law, but once you are in the industry, you will realize. So it's one long, very long journey, and if you're not enjoying it, then your life will be very dull, and you will not, maybe you will have a good career, maybe you will advance to a point, but you're not going to be the person that you want to become. So the one thing that I will tell is that please do not choose the field that you're going to with somebody's pressures or with somebody's recommendation, or just because your friend is there, or just because you want to earn a lot of money, or let's say something is prestigious, or you think that your GPA is high, so you have to go to a high demanded faculty, etc. Do not do it. Just really close your eyes and think about how you see yourself in the future, what you want to do every single day, and then choose accordingly. Because the prestigious come and go. Today law can be popular, but maybe 10 years later AI will steal our jobs, maybe, we don't know. And so just do whatever you love.
I agree with all that was said about choosing your faculty based on your passion and what you like. I would also add that specifically for finance, you should like math. Like talking personally, in the first semester I didn't have any math. I was just plain reading long chapters for all subjects like writing, speaking, and etc. And I was so annoyed by that, I just wanted some math. And when I finally now have Calculus 1 as my only math subject, I love it because it just makes me happier than just reading all the articles. So it depends on what you like. Maybe you like more reading or annotating and working with text, but maybe you're more passionate about working with data and numbers. So you should explore yourself, first of all. Second, it's difficult to choose from what you have. You just have to choose from what the university gives you, and it might be difficult, I understand you. So if you want to choose finance, you should explore the 3 majors in School of Business, so economics, finance, and business administration. I was also confused on which I wanted to choose, because first I wanted BBA, then I wanted econ, then I wanted finance, and what I understood is that you need to do some research yourself. Open ADA University website and look at the catalog, at the subjects, read more on the internet or ask your friends if you have who study at university about what they do, and think about where you imagine yourself. But if talking briefly, I will tell you that if finance has middle mass, like mass content, econ has more of it, and BBA, I think it has the least amount of mass. because economics is more analytical, and usually economists work in government organizations, I would say. But finance and business are more corporate related, like private companies. Also, I want to add that when I was choosing, I just looked at my passions and didn't look at what was popular, because if you choose just something that's prestigious or popular, you might not like it, as everyone here mentioned. So yes, that's it.
I also want to say one more thing, that I think people choosing business, I don't know whether, is any of you interested in business? Okay, you're not interested in business? Business, who else? You? No? No, only him is interested in business. When you choose business, I think the biggest question the parents or people around us, what are you going to do when you finish business administration? It's a big question. I got that question a lot, and I didn't know what I'm going to do when I finish business administration, and I still don't know what I'm going to do when I finish business administration, when I graduate. And I think that's the thing that you gradually understand what you're going to do. I think for law, there is a little bit category that you can choose in between.
There's a lot, yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
specifically related to law. But in business, you can work in investment company, you can work in insurance company, you can work in corporate offices, you can work in consulting groups, you can work as marketing specialist, you can work as human resources specialist, you can work in finance field as well if you get certain certifications. You can do anything related to business, and you can have your own business too, which I think many people think that if you finish business administration, you're going to have your own business, you're going to have your own startup. That's not how it works. You can become an entrepreneur, which is one field of business, but I think there are a lot of opportunities, and how you discover it is basically while studying. You see, now I see that I have more interest over finance. I see that probably I'll do my master's in finance-related subjects, or maybe I'll continue working in finance departments, but you'll realize this once you study. And that's what I wanted to mention, because I think that's a big misconception about what am I going to work if I finish business.
So I hope you all aren't tired just yet, because we still have to go through the last step of our interview, and these are the questions from the students.
What are all the required skills for law specifically, and is memorizing a necessitative skill for law?
So the requirements are, I think, the same with the other faculties, so you don't need much. So you will have your diploma, your GPA, and you can come to the faculty, so there is not much requirements in entry. And about the memorization part, you will not memorize anything. You don't have to. None of your instructors are going to ask you to say something by heart. There is one thing about memorization, which is a very common misconception, is that memorization doesn't get you anywhere inside law. Why? Because any person, even a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, it doesn't depend on the language, ethnicity, age, anything, field, can memorize something. What you're going to learn inside the law faculty is the application of that law that you learn. Because laws change every minute. Even after we conclude this meeting session, we can go and check, and we can see that some provisions are changed. So if you memorize, it's going to be outdated within months anyway. So what you're going to build is that lawyer persona, because law is not something, it is substantial, but it's also kind of a feeling and a character that you have to show. And at the end of the day, it is not the person who knows many articles or who knows many international law that wins. It's the person who can present that law, who can present that knowledge. So none of your instructors are going to ask you any memorization or anything like that. You will just learn the analysis, the approaches of law, and you will build your own lawyer personality in these 4 years. So that's not going to be an issue.
I have a question to Latafat Guliyeva. What are the main struggles that you meet when you entered computer science faculty?
So I don't know about other graduates, but in our year, I was just exploring the students who graduated from ADA school and proceeded their bachelor's degree in computer science at ADA University. Most of them were in probation, and this scared me a lot because I thought that maybe I will also be the one, and I was almost sure that I will not succeed in it.
So I think my biggest challenge when I entered computer science was fear. Because I was scared a lot that I will not be the person of this field. I will not be the professional of this field because others could not achieve that. I'm still not a professional, but I think that my path is not bad as I'm going through it. What about facing these classes? I noticed that it's not something that is undoable, or it's not something that is that demands something out of human nature. These are just about hard work, dedication, and mainly interest. My biggest struggle with classes was, I think, math classes and programming classes. So I think these introductory classes, Calculus 1, Programming Principles 1, the things that are with principles and introduction are really scaring me a lot, because imagine that you can't even write 10 lines of code and your first class is Programming Principles 1, where you have to write a function of C code. I remember that when I get home I started crying that why did I choose this faculty, and when my first Calculus 1 quiz was literally very bad, I also scared that why did I choose this faculty. Then I noticed that it's just about consistency and habit. Everything is very new when you start a new course. It's still like this. You start a new course, you don't understand anything for a week. Okay, now I know that I will be understanding in a few weeks. But my biggest challenge was that I was thinking that I'm not really a person of this field, and math classes and programming was very hard. And also I noticed that no one is telling you everything as in school, and you have to deal with it on your own. Then I started getting my hands dirty. This was the most important thing that I started to do. Okay, you came to calculus. I started solving the whole book, and it really worked me out. I couldn't write a code. I started working on complex programming, and it really helped me a lot as well. So my biggest struggle was this.
So my question is for finance. In finance faculty, the mathematical subjects are the main or humanitarian. I mean, in there you should study more history or like math, this type of subjects.
Okay. So I would say that it's mostly mathematical. There is no history. Like the first year for all majors except law, all subjects are the same. So it's like basics, writing, speaking, global perspectives. It's similar to what you have at school, like writing, speaking, and some basics about other subjects. But what you have, like your university major subjects, are Calculus 1 and Principles of Economics 1. So Calculus is mathematics, plain math. But Principles of Economics, it's not about memorization. There is text, you just read chapters. But what you need to understand there is to analyze this text. You don't have to memorize, but understand the concept. Because when you're given a test and asked questions, there is no question that asks you for definition or something. You are given a scenario and you have to solve this problem, even if it's not a math problem. So I would say that all subjects are like that. You just have to think critically and analyze what you're reading. There is also a lot of math, like mathematical statistics. There is 1 and 2, calculus 1 and 2. There are different subjects and in different semesters. About specifically finance, there is financial accounting, principles of finance. I don't have the subjects yet, but as far as I know, there is also like concepts which you need to understand, and then you just work with these concepts and scenarios to solve real life problems like this. But there is no like specific humanities like history or literature. It's just overall subjects that you have in the first year that all faculties have. that you can choose history or literature plus option, but not specifically.
Because just first year, I'm also second year, but the subjects that she told, I've already taken as business major. In the certain subjects like managerial accounting, in principles of finance, in statistics, you're going to be given the formulas, like you'll have cheat sheets of the exams. You're going to be entering the exams with the formulas, with the notes, little notes. They allow you to do that because the questions are not memorization questions. You need to apply the formula, but you have to get to the formula from the question itself. So it's not based on, okay, if I know math, I'm going to be good at it, or if I, let's say, memorize the formula, I'll be good at it. You have to understand it. I think for any subjects, it doesn't matter. For law as well, as she said, as Inji said, that it's not based on memorization. None of the subjects are based on memorization. If you don't understand it, you cannot do statistics. If you don't understand it, you cannot do accounting. It's all based on understanding, and you're going to see that in a lot of exams, mathematical exams, they let you enter with notes. They let you. It's an open book exam, or the teachers themselves provide notes. So it's not purely if I memorize a certain formula, I'll be successful. No, it's based on understanding and comprehending the material well.
So I have a question for international relations major, and as it is like an international major, I was like always thinking what type of classes you have and what kind of studies you have on a daily basis.
Okay, a very good question. So, first of all, we have a literature class, but it's not just for our major, it's for everyone. I guess everyone except for law needs to take it. It's a very interesting thing. But coming to the classes, actually a very interesting thing about international relations is that it has a mixture of different fields. For example, even though I have taken this subject, I know a little bit about economics, I have taken micro and macroeconomics. I know a little bit about law, currently I'm taking public international law. I know a little bit about IT because we have taken data and computing skills, a little bit about statistics, so you have the mixture of all of that. But if I were to say the international relations subjects, then that would be foreign policy analysis, comparative politics, political theory, state and politics, a lot of politics. So these subjects they usually teach you not just to memorize the event, like you don't need to say that in 1945 the World War II ended. No, the thing that they want from you is why World War II ended exactly this year, or why did it happen, or what are the consequences of that, what are the results. So the things that they want from you is not memorizing, but understanding what's going on and being able to predict. Also, another thing that I can say is that our subjects can be divided into two parts, descriptive and normative. Descriptive is basically describing, analyzing the event. Normative is saying, is the event that is going on good or bad? And what would have happened? And what should happen in order for it to be good or bad, in basic terms. So, what else are we studying? Yeah, so basically we are not just studying politics, etc. We also study statistics, we also study economics, we also study law, all of the fields that can be interdisciplinary for understanding of what is going on. Because it's a social science, and social sciences are not as easy as you think.
My question is in the computer science major. I want to become a software developer, so my question is like two-sided. I hope it's not a problem. I'd like to ask what you wish you would have studied or learned beforehand before entering the computer science major, and which parts of maths do you think are more important to implying coding?
So thank you for the question. I don't think that there is a specific skill that you need to have before entering computer science, but what you really need to know is that you have to be ready to self-study. The things that you learn at university, the things that you acquire knowledge in at classes are very valuable but are not enough for you to be a professional. I have one software developer friend from IT and one software developer friend from computer science. So it doesn't matter if you are computer science and IT, computer engineering, you can be a part of any branch. But they have taken different online courses. They have practiced a lot. They have a lot of projects that they are currently working on and have worked in. So I
I would like to say that in computer science, the things are different than in other schools. For example, in other schools, if you want to have an internship, you can display your CV with volunteering, with high GPA, and nothing much more is required. But in computer science, all the interviews almost are technical. So if you want to become a software developer, if you are already decided on it, from the first year, take advice with others, connect with other software engineers, and draw your roadmap. And don't expect someone at university to teach this roadmap to you. You will go to it one by one. First, if we are talking about a general case, you want to become a software engineer. Get familiar with object-oriented programming. Then apply this object-oriented programming to Java. Get familiar with Java. You are on this stage, right? Make some project with core Java principles. Okay, you have learned Java. Then you need to learn some backend principles, like how Spring Boot works, or if you want to be a software engineer who works with C#, learn how C# works. In Java, Spring Boot, in C#, it's .NET. But you do more projects on this side, and believe me, in interview they will see how many projects did you do, and what are your technical skills about software engineering. The university subject will also need it, because they will ask how backend development works. You have to know, if you are a computer science student, you have to know a little bit about everything. But choose your own roadmap and stick to this roadmap if you are decisive about your choice. So no special math skills are required for AD school students.
So my question will be to the business faculty. It's actually about subjects like majors. What subjects do you have in general, and which are most technical?
So it was mentioned already that during your first year you're going to have general education subjects. General education subjects are the same for all courses except law. So you have writing, you have speaking, you have global perspectives, you have Azerbaijani literature or history, whatever you choose. So the first year courses are quite easy. You have only one major course, which is Principles of Economics 1, and then you're going to have Calculus 1. But the thing with business is that, Kamran also mentioned it for international relations as well, we have a bit of everything. We have a bit of finance classes. Financial accounting, principles of finance, corporate finance. These classes are from finance. We have principles of economics 1, principles of economics 2, which are from economics. We have courses, principles of marketing, fundamentals of business, entrepreneurship, leadership, which are more related to business. So there are a lot of subjects from any field. And for difficult, it depends on the person. For me, finance classes are not difficult, but if you ask any other business major student, they would say finance classes are the hardest. Or for me, memorizing class, not memorizing necessarily, but when you have to learn a lot of stuff, like fundamentals of business. It could be a very interesting class. I don't know why it wasn't very interesting. Maybe the way it was taught was not very interesting, but it was mainly memorizing stuff. So for me, that was the hardest, but it really depends on the person. Overall, I would say business is not hard because it's really interesting. You get to learn about anything. You enter one class, you learn about the consumer psychology, how consumers think, why they buy this water specifically, why they choose this red color specifically. You learn about this, and then you enter the next class, you learn about how to classify costs. What is fixed cost, what's variable cost, so very different things. So that's what made me choose business in the sense that I have a bit of everything. So there is nothing hard in business. You just have to be quite passionate about it, and you have to be interested in all the things that you're going to learn.
So guys, any other questions? Are we sure? No? Okay. So once again, I would like to thank Kamran, Fatima, Latafat, Inji, Nurel for your time, for coming here today. And I would like to thank you guys, because once again, this time that you spend here, it will be very beneficial for you, because you will be more sure in what faculty you will choose among like all of them, 5 of them, or maybe you have thought of 6-1, I don't know. So yeah. I hope that you will choose your faculty and you will be very successful on there. So I want to wish huge success for this side, and everyone. So Let's please again make a huge round of applause for everyone.